I'm with Jan McNeilin about this month's tips. And so, Jan, it's getting to be late spring. So what's going on in the garden?
A lot. Way more than one can keep up with.
But it's beautiful. We've had such great weather, and the flowers have really been performing.
Yeah, this rhododendron is all done now, so it's time for me to snap out those deadheads. I can't do it with these gloves on very well. But you want to leave the new growth, like on this one over here. That's what it looks like after you've deadheaded and you've left the new growth for next year. If for some reason you don't want it to grow anymore, you can snap the new growth out, and it won't, and then it won't get any bigger.
Right, you just kind of maintain that space. And then you have some cool gloves underneath your leather gloves.
I do. I just wanted to show folks that I have arthritis in my hands, and sometimes it's pretty painful. And these are pressure gloves that you can get. I got them at Beaverton Pharmacy. I'm sure that other places that carry health items. Anyway, these are wonderful gloves. You can wear them underneath your regular gloves because they're so thin, and it really helps the painful arthritis. I have it worse in the morning, so by the time the day rolls on, it gets better.
So it helps you to stay out in the garden a little longer.
Yeah, or I may wear them at night even, but they're just great and they're washable and easy to do. So if anybody's has any arthritis in their hands, it's a nifty thing to do.
And you have a cool little nifty thing here. I love this new hanging basket.
Well, I got a new hanging basket, but I want to say buyer beware. I'm short, number one, and I filled one up yesterday and planted it and went to hang it up, and unless I can reach where it hooks, it's not a stiff one where you can hold it in the bottom and hook it on the top. So keep in mind when you get something like this, what you're going to use it for, how tall you are, and I don't want to get a stool every time I want to move the baskets. So I'm gonna weave some wire through this to stiffen these, and it should work okay.
That is good. And let's talk about the foliage left over from the daffodils or tulips. So mine are starting to look really kind of icky. They're kind of brown, and nothing's really grown up to hide them. So can I take those out now?
Sure. The Holland bulb companies and the research that's been done says you can cut that foliage 21 days approximately after they bloom.
Oh, great.
So when you're at that point, you can cut the seed heads off before that.
Sure.
And then you can cut the foliage off. It doesn't have to die down completely naturally, which I know will keep some people happy. They don't have to wait. And some people twist them and turn them over and do all sorts of stuff. But if you wait that long, you should have enough food in the bulb for it to bloom next year. You cut them off too soon, that bulb is not going to store enough energy to bloom.
Right. And I know that you have some things in the greenhouse. We're going to go in there and talk about some more things.
Okay.
All right. Jan, it looks like your seeds are doing so well, and I love that you use just a cardboard box to start your seedlings in, because sometimes we're thinking, I got to go to the store and I got to get the right equipment, and it's right here in your greenhouse or in your garage.
It's by default that I did that because we set a sprinkler and it sprinkled over the top of my box of seeds.
Oh, no.
So the seed packages were wet before I was ready to plant, so I ripped in here and threw in some soil in the box that just happened to be right there, and I've got zucchini and cucumbers and bush cucumbers here, and I'm almost ready to transplant out in the garden, but I'll let them go a little bit longer.
And this flat of marigolds, which was saved seeds that you saved.
I just took seed heads when they were dry last fall and saved them over the winter, and I just literally put some newspaper in the bottom of this tray, filled it with soil, and then I just took wads of seed, and I just scratched it back and forth, and that's the result.
And you're going to have beautiful marigolds. You might have different kinds depending on what the parents
will have crossed some of them, and so there's plenty of plants in there, so the neighbors will be getting them.
Oh, that's so nice.
There's lots of plants in there, but they're all doing better than they should be for as crowded as they are in there.
Well, they look beautiful. And I know that you have some ideas about home remedies to help us in our garden. So sometimes you have to have a little caution.
Well, I actually don't have ideas for home remedies in that. The idea is the caution. There's all sorts of catalogs that come out, and I'm not advertising anybody, but there's a lot of different catalogs that come out and tell you, if you just do this, that'll work, and you do this and that'll work, and vinegar's great, and And nicotine, soak a package of chewing tobacco and use it as an insecticide. Nicotine sulfate is one of the most toxic to mammals, and guess what? We're mammals.
Of course, right.
So be careful. I would more highly recommend, unless it's like soap and water, of mixing your own. And then even at that, you can put too much soap in and you can fry your plants.
Of course, right.
So home remedies are not necessarily less toxic and can be more toxic. There's an acute toxicity data in the Pacific Northwest Insect Control Handbook. It's in the back and it's on the web, the Insect Control Handbook. And you can look at the item that's there and look at what its toxicity level is to give you a little idea if you're making some home brew of some kind, what the toxicity is for you. I'd more recommend something that's had to have its label scrutinized and that it is a natural product, yes, and that's what you want to be, is organic. But you have to be really careful.
Right. And if you have any questions, you can go to the OSU website or call your county master gardeners for more information. Go to your independent garden centers, talk to their help desk, because you really want to be safe in your garden and have it safe and healthy for you.
Right, right. Yeah. There aren't always shortcuts that you want to take.
Right.
You have to be protect yourself.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Well, thanks so much for everything. We'll see you next month.
Thanks.